Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here on the subject of selfishness. Mr. RodHullOnceWasHim says that selfishness doesn't always have to hurt others. In some cases it will, some cases it won't. He's done a video response to my video on the subject. And he goes through 3 or maybe 4 scenarios and thinks that he gives some examples where you would hurt others and it would be selfish of you. So let's go over his examples, and I want to start with the 4th one because it's the epitome of people's view of selfishness, and it lays bare the issue that Mr. RodHullOnceWasHim has so mistaken. The 4th one is that you would burn your money if you couldn't use it. If you're going to die or something, you have all this money or something, you would burn it because, he says, why would you let somebody else have it? Well, my question is, why would you not let someone else have it? Don't you see, that's the whole issue. The whole issue is laid bare in that one little problem. What harm does it do to you for someone else to have your money after you die if you can't use it? See, Mr. RodHullOnceWasHim, you bring in your back pocket the assumption that selfishness hurts others. You yourself said it may or may not. So why then do you end your little video with the most ridiculous assertion that a selfish person wouldn't want their money to be used by anybody else. They should rather have it burned than anybody else benefit from their own money. That's stupid and ridiculous. Why? Why is that included in selfishness? Why is that the definition? It's retarded. Let's go on to his other 3 retarded points. Violating your enemy so he does not get a certain resource. Well, I was talking about Ayn Rand's concept that there are no conflicts of interest between rational men. For example, if there's one job and there are 2 of you available, some people would think a selfish person would want the job regardless of their qualifications, and would want the other job applicant to not get the job regardless of their job qualifications, even if the objectivist was woefully underqualified and the other person was overqualified. Some people believe the selfish person would want the job for themselves anyway. But would that principle hold? Is that a type of principle you could live your life on? That I'm not qualified for this job, I'm not going to be able to do it as well as this other candidate, and I think that the job offerer, the employer, should give it to me anyway. Well, that is an anti-reality stance that's just ridiculous. You yourself would benefit from having a more competent person in that job, because whatever job it is, be it sweeping streets or designing computers, it would certainly be a bigger and better benefit to you if that job were done competently in society than if it were not. Now, some people are going to say, well, what if the job was killing people, you know, SS officer or something? Well, Ayn Rand specified conflicts of interest between rational men in a free society. So, we'll note a couple things about Mr. RodHullOnceWasHim. All of his points, 1, 2, and 3, are completely ignorant of the idea that a moral action is possible only if you do not initiate force. Force is used if force is initiated. The person doing that has no claim at all on morality and can be answered with force, morally. So his first case, violating your enemy so that he does not get a certain resource. Well, your enemy is more than just the guy across the street who borrowed your garden hose and gave it back to you and it was broken or split open. He's not your enemy, okay? Your enemy in this case is somebody who's using physical force. It's interesting, he uses the pictures of the Iraq or the Kuwaiti oil fields on fire because Saddam was selfish. While withdrawing from Kuwait, he started all of those oil wells on fire. Why? What good did it do him? None. Doesn't do him any good at all. You see how stupid and ridiculous the definition of selfish is? You don't even have to help yourself when you're selfish. All that is required is you hurt others. Now, did it help Saddam to light all those on fire? certainly didn't help him any, did it? It cost us extra money and extra time while we were advancing, but that didn't buy him any extra time. We still took his freaking army out in 2 weeks. So, bad case there. That's ridiculous. Violating your enemy so that he does not get a certain resource is a way of preserving your own life, because someone else is trying to violate our rights, to kill us. So, that is not a case where you have two rational people and we're trying to look at a conflict of interest. The better case is where there's two people not equally qualified for a job. That's a better case. Anyways, let's go on to a second one. This one's ridiculous. A millionaire offers you an island with all wonderful stuff on it. And when you die, the universe stops existing. So, do you live on this island your whole life in all comfort and splendor, and then it costs everybody their life and the universe its existence when you die? Or do you turn them down and say, no, I don't want the universe to stop existing when I die. I'm going to go on and suffer through my life and work a job. So that is too ridiculous for us to get anything from in a way of principle for ethics. It's so ridiculous that even if we could analyze it, it wouldn't give us anything we could use in reality in our daily lives. So it's just too ridiculous to apply to the world we live in. Too ridiculous. The next one, using national funds for your own health care.